If you were also indoctrinated to the grind hustle culture that happened a few years ago, and you were convinced that you needed to isolate yourself and remove yourself from society and not to date, not to explore anything enjoyable out of life until you've gone and achieved a 10K a month, then you're probably in the right place. The reason I say that is because we were fed this lie that dating or relationships are a bad thing and they're a distraction, which granted they can be if set up incorrectly. If you're spending all your time just conversing with that person and you're not working towards your goals, then yes, it's ineffective. It's not the solution that you need in your life right now if you aren't where you want to be. However, they are so fantastic for becoming a better person, for self-development. If I was to write a self-help book, it would literally just say, go and find someone to date. The reason I say that is because the person that you're dating, they kind of become a mirror of who you are. They become a direct reflection of your good parts and your bad parts. Because if you see them producing a behavior that you don't like, you can kind of go down this path of just examining yourself. Why do you feel that way? Why does that make you feel that certain emotion? And it confronts you with so many situations that you wouldn't be confronted with if you were just single. So on one side, it is fantastic for self-development, becoming a better person by exposing yourself to new situations and to seeing the dark sides of yourself that have been hidden away for so long because you haven't been put in those stressful situations, if that's even a word that you can call them. On the other end of this, they are so fantastic. You get to share and experience the world with another person on a far more intimate level. Maybe not physically intimately, but emotionally intimately. You're able to talk and converse with a person that ideally you want to spend the rest of your life with. And that's a super beautiful thing to be able to do. And I say that from a place from a person who understands the privileged position that I'm in, because I understand that dating in itself is a challenging thing. Dating in today's world is extremely difficult, especially when it comes to finding the correct person that you want to be with. But so many people are choosing to not even take part in the game. They're deciding to quit altogether and find an AI partner instead. Like I said at the start, dating is challenging because you have to confront a lot about yourself that you've probably been avoiding for a long time. And with the rise of AI partners, you can have a conversation with this software. And if it produces or shows any behaviors you don't like, you can just immediately tell it to stop producing that behavior, and it will. So I can see the appeal. I can see the appeal of wanting to date something that you have full control over. You know exactly how they're going to act and how they're going to perform. And if they do anything that you don't like, then you can make those changes. But you're never going to grow. You're never going to become a better person because you're just molding this software to reflect your current state. Whereas ideally, you want to find someone, a partner that you can grow with. And you can grow with through having conversations that are difficult, through showing them all of your bad parts, all of your good parts, all of your trouble parts, but in turn, all of you. And in doing so, you can identify strengths and weaknesses. And it's fantastic to be able to identify strengths, but it's more beneficial to be able to identify weaknesses because as long as you're in a position of a growth mindset, you want to become better, you want to be able to serve this person in your life to the highest degree possible, then identifying those weaknesses is fantastic because you have the most insane motivation behind that, being that you want to create an environment for that other person where they feel loved, fulfilled, and grateful. If you are in a position currently where you've given up on dating, I understand. But at the same time, although it may not be your fault that the world is the way it is right now when it comes to dating, it is your problem. And if you want to give up and go and cry in a corner, I get it. I understand exactly why you'd want to do that. But you have to remember, you have to take into account that option B is a fantastic life with a fantastic person that you love deeply, and that will allow you to be truly fulfilled. I love you all. Have a good day.